Joey says, I don't know if this question will be accurate or no, but like I do have midterms and most of time I get stressed, which makes me not to concentrate too much on exam. What is your stress about? What is the source of the stress? What is the concept? What is the thought pattern that comes to your head and that creates the stress? Because as you know, when it is the thought that brings that emotion, it is the thought that brings that reaction. So what is that thought? You got to go to the thought, and what is the subject that is concerning you that you need to ponder on, which then it sometimes becomes lingering in your head and interjects in whatever it is that you're doing, as it wants to get resolution, as it wants to get your attention, because it has created certain kind of a unsafe situation for itself with that belief, with that thought, with that assumption. So it's asking for process to get that done. And then you have two choices. One is to simply say, I don't have time for that shit. Don't recognize to entertain that. I know it's nonsense, and you just simply focus on what it is that you need to be focusing, recognizing, acknowledging the thought, but not entertaining the thought. It's two different things. If you don't acknowledge the thought, it constantly knocks on the door, wants you to acknowledge it. But once you acknowledge it, then it shuts up, because then you choose not to play with it, not to entertain it, not to let it expand, because you decided, I've already thought about this. I've already came to a conclusion about this. Because those thoughts that apparently brings that kind of a stress or whatever in your mind, it's not the first time. You've already thought of them before. They've already appeared in your head, already concerned you, brought you distress. You thought of it, and you came to some kind of an understanding. Now, if it happens again, you need to simply recognize, acknowledge the thought that is there, but then fortify your decision about that thought, that you have already attended to it before. Knowing that, you don't need to go through it again to get it to a certain kind of a point that is kind of a closure on that subject in your mind. So simply say, I know, and then focus on what you're doing, because you've already taken care of it. It's like a homework that you've already done, and you happen to see that book again. You say, oh, I've done that. You recognize that it should be done, but I've done that. You remember you've done that. The work is right there on the notebook, so you see it's done. So you don't fuss with it anymore. The other thing is, the other choice that you have is simply focusing to what you do, and not being deviated from what it is that you want to accomplish, knowing the priorities that you say, okay, I'll deal with it later. Like you say, okay, make an appointment. I'm now busy with this. It's not that you're ignoring it and you give some kind of a false hope to your mind that I will come back to you. So it'll shut up, knowing that it will get the attention that you want, but you will end up doing the stuff that you need to do. So now the stress is probably because you feel something is stopping you from actually attending to what it is that has priority in your life. That's the reason for the stress, unless it's something that you really need to take care of it and you're worried about it. But again, we go to the worry. Why the worry is there? Because you compare what if I don't attend it, what it will be happening if I don't take care of this. So you compare to what it was before this subject arose and what it is, and will it still be the same tomorrow, or will it not? So comparing to what it was to what it is and what it will be, it brings that anxiety and worry and so on. So having said that, let me see what actually came up with as the answer to what is the source of that stress. Makes me not to concentrate much on exam. Okay, because of fear that I can't do nice score. Ah, there we go. So your case is not about something that you wanted to resolve. It's not something that is a transient thought. It's about fear, worry. Which worry and fear, there is really no such thing as fear. We're not talking about fear of dangerous animals or some truck about to hit you. Those are you react on instinct and you jump out of the way and you do what you got to do. We're not talking about fear of that sort. We're talking about there is no fear in the sense of the fear only comes to be when you compare what it was to what it is and what it could be or what it will be. Yesterday I had pain in my tummy, let's say. I am okay now. I wonder if I'll be okay tonight or tomorrow, or will it be painful again like if it was. So I created last night time, my thought created time. So I'm now saying I had pain last night and I compare it to what it is now. It's better now. Now then I'm comparing to what it will be because my mind is looking for trouble and I want to make sure things are okay. And that comparison, what it was, pain, what it is, better, and will it be pain tonight or okay, these are what creates that anxiety and fear. Otherwise, if I can be living with the moment and just focus on the fact that I'm okay now, and if it wasn't, and if I feel the same, then I will see what needs to be done. But I'm okay now, at the moment, with this thing, okay, I don't have to change what it is, what my life is right now, to think about the past, because the past is dead, is not there. It's now, and now I don't have any pain. So why is it that I think about the pain that I had and I compare it to the fact that is no pain right now, which is good? Then why do I go further? What if it comes again? Because the brain is designed to look for trouble, and if there's not, it starts worrying about it just to make sure you're prepared with it. Instead of that, just be with the moment, be with the present moment, and just enjoy what it is. If it was painful, you'll deal with it. If it's not, not. So your exam, you know that the reason, the only way that you can do good in your exam, if you actually complete your study. So if you stop comparing to what it could be, the scenarios that I could not pass, or I could pass, I could get this grade, or I could not get this grade, all these, instead of doing that, just focus on what needs to be done in order you would have a better chance to get the results you're looking for. What is that? Is to fully use the time that you have. So give priority to it. Say, okay, I will not worry about that because it's irrelevant. I am not there. It is now. It is not tomorrow when tomorrow will be now. This is not the tomorrow now. It is the now now. In the now now, I have time. Nothing can stress me because I can still study. So in order to get the result I want, I should focus on this, not focus on what it will be. Focus on where I am, what I'm doing, what I can do, so I will get the result. And that is exactly contrary to what your mind is trying to do, to tell you worry, and you say no. For not worrying and not getting the result that I'm scared of, I'm going to use the time that I have, which is now. So I'm going to attend to the now, live in the now, not in what is not yet arrived, and not what it was last year. I didn't do good in this test or whatever. So I focus on studying and using the time, because that is exactly what I need to do to get this stress out. The remedy of not being stressed out for the result of your study is to actually not worry about it and focus on preparing for it. If you think that way, then you will override the worry that comes because you say, there is no evidence that I will not do good. The only thing I can do is to do my best. That's all. Limit yourself, limit the expectations from yourself by saying, I will do my best. That's all. The rest, don't worry. And when you go to the test, don't worry what you didn't read or you did read or whatever it is. Oh, I should have read that chapter again. No. All you have to say is that you sit there, you relax, and you say, I did my best and I'm going to do my best with whatever I know. No more thinking about what I could have done better or more. That puts you in a mood of positive, confident, to do with what you got. See, in life, that is the secret. To do with what we got, rather than wondering, oh, if I had this, well, let's do the best we can with what we got. Let's do the best you can with the time you got left. So focus on that, use that resources rather than letting it be jeopardized. But the thought of what if, which that it takes itself takes your time, and that's the one that can create possibly the catalyst for the results that you don't want by spending your time about things that hasn't happened yet. I hope that's something for you to use.